Hello everyone, kryodawg here, bringing the top 10 tips for learning to play guitar. This is for beginners and these are my top 10 tips, so let's get started. Learning to play guitar tip number 10. Focus on sounding clean. This will save you time later. What I mean by this is when you're playing, try to play so that each string rings out and they're not muffled. Learning to play guitar tip number 9. Keep your practice sessions short. Try to do about 2 or 3 practice sessions a day, about 15 minutes each. This will prevent you from getting frustrated from playing or practicing hours on end and ending up with sore fingers. Learning to play guitar tip number 8. Use good gear. If you're going to play guitar, start off with a decent guitar, something like a Fender Squier or maybe a Les Paul or Epiphone Special 2, something at the beginner level that has really good string action. You don't want a guitar that's got strings that are sitting high off the neckboard. This is going to make it hard to play. Learning to play guitar tip number 7. Make sure your guitar is in tune. This is very important because you're going to get used to hearing the sounds of the chords, and if it's out of tune, you're not going to recognize the chord. So just make sure you're in tune. You can get a good cheap tuner for probably around 20 bucks. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And you can also even get apps on your smartphone. I use one called G Strings. It's absolutely free and it does a good job. Learning to play guitar tip number 6. Learn open chords first. These are the building blocks of chords further down the neck. So if you can learn several chord shapes like a D, an A, an E, A minor, F, those chords are movable and turn into bar chords farther down the neck. So these are the building blocks. So learn these first. Tip number 5. Start small. Learn 3 or 4 chords. Nothing big. You don't want to try to learn 7 or 8 chords at a time because then it's going to get overwhelming. You want to start small, 3 or 4 chords. A lot of good songs are only made of 3 chords, 4 chords. So find a song you want to learn. It has about 3 or 4 chords, and you'll pick those up. Then you can move on to other chords. So just kind of build off of a small, basic set of chords, and then go from there. Tip number 4. Garbage in, garbage out. If you spend all your time playing like crap, well, guess what? You're going to sound like crap. So as you're practicing, be sure that you're practicing strumming the chords so that the strings ring out. You don't have any fret buzz. You don't have a lot of muffled strings. You want it to sound good and clean. Tip number 3. Realize this. You will more than likely not sound like your guitar hero the first week, month, or maybe even a year after you've started playing guitar. It takes time to develop the skills to get at that level. So don't get frustrated if you're not playing a song right away or if you're running into roadblocks. Just keep at it and you'll do fine. Tip number 2. Get involved with other players. There's a lot you can learn from listening and watching other players play their guitar. You can pick up some good information and some good tips from them as well. And who knows, maybe somebody will pick up a tip from you. It's a good place to start. And my number 1 tip for learning to play the guitar, and this is probably the most important tip of all, and if anything, if nothing else, take this 1 tip away from this video and you should do fine. And that tip is to practice, and then practice some more. You'll spend the majority of your time with the guitar practicing. Although you'll be playing in bands or maybe recording while you're playing, you're still practicing. So just get used to that idea that you're always going to be practicing when you're playing the guitar. Whether you know it or not or realize it, that's what you're doing. So just keep at it and your skills will progress. Thanks for watching this video on my top 10 tips. I do hope these tips help you to get a great start and progress your guitar playing abilities to the best that they can be.